Good morning. It is day 2 of my cruise tour with Norwegian Cruise Line, and tomorrow we board Pride of America. But today it's a very exciting day because I'm going to visit Pearl Harbor, and I actually have a special tie to the USS Missouri. I'll talk about that a little bit later, but I'm super excited. This is my first time to Hawaii, my first time to Pearl Harbor, of course. If you didn't catch yesterday's video, the first of this series, we visited the pineapple plantation and the Polynesian Cultural Center, and there are many more videos to come after this one. So if you are just now watching my channel for the first time, I cruise solo around the world, and I think I am the only person on this cruise tour that is cruising by herself. You stay with the same driver, the same guide, and the same bus every single day of the cruise tour before you board the ship. I am so excited to see what's in store for us today and visit this incredible memorial and historical place. So let's go get this day started. You need to know to go visit Pearl Harbor, you need a clear plastic bag. You cannot bring anything larger than a wallet inside. I went and got this at the ABC store here locally. So this is what I'm bringing with me today. Bus number 1. I'm one of the first ones on the bus, so I got myself the best seats.
Told the Pacific, and were largely responsible for the victory in the Pacific in World War II.
When I take you out to Pu'uloa, you will manage your time for the whole day, all 4 sites. You manage your time. You're thinking it's a Sunday here on the island. We're supposed to go to church. We're supposed to spend time with one another. But it all changes in an instant as this surprise attack comes to this island on that fateful morning.
I am here. We have made it to Pearl Harbor, and wow, that was an emotional ride over. Our tour guide told us the story of the attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941 and had some videos playing and some stories to share, some personal stories that he shared. It was emotional, it was intense, really, I think the right way to start the day, because it is an emotional place. Marked the United States entering World War II despite trying to stay neutral, but I'm here. So the directions were from our guide to go sign up for the Arizona waitlist. So the USS Arizona is doing tours today. You have to get on a wait list. He did say if we don't get on the wait list by 9:15 to just continue on. We will see what happens, but there's one bus ahead of us, so it is 7:09 right now, so getting this day started early. This is my ticket, so this gives me access to everything here. So I have to keep this with me. And the entrance should be right over here on the left. It is a beautiful day. Not a cloud. Just perfect blue sky. It's not too hot yet. Again, just a reminder that you have to have a clear bag with you to bring anything in that's larger than a wallet. I believe this was the line to get on the wait list.
I think we just need one person.
Okay, I just went and picked up the audio guide. So this is like a phone device. You put in the number that corresponds to where you want to go on the map. And then they also gave us headphones. So we keep these with us all day and switch depending on where we are. But this is all the points where we need to go and explore. I am still on the wait list for the memorial. It's only been 15 minutes since I got on the wait list, so I'm going to keep my eye on my phone in case it texts me so I can go in there, and have to be there within 5 minutes, so it goes quick. Walking through Pearl Harbor is one of those experiences that really makes you stop and think. It's peaceful here now, the water's calm, the air is still, But it's impossible not to imagine what this place was like on that morning back in 1941. On December 7th, 1941, just before 8 a.m., Japanese forces launched a surprise attack on the U.S. naval base here. In less than 2 hours, more than 2,400 Americans lost their lives. Battleships burned, aircraft were destroyed, and the nation was forever changed. The very next day, the U.S. entered World War II. Walking through the memorials now, it's quiet, but it feels heavy. The stories, the letters, the faces of the people who were here that day. It's powerful. You can almost feel the weight of the history around you. There's a deep sense of respect in this place and gratitude too. It's a reminder of how quickly life can change and how important it is to remember what happened here. Just got my text. I can go check in now.
Because the American flag was about to be hoisted.
So we take a boat from here to the memorial, and it's about, I think, an hour is the total experience. We're heading out to the memorial now. Taking the boat out to the USS Arizona Memorial is such a quiet, emotional experience. You can see the white structure ahead floating gently over the water, and it's hard not to feel a little lump in your throat as you approach. The Arizona was one of the battleships destroyed during the attack on December 7th. A direct hit caused the ship to explode and sink within minutes, taking the lives of over 1,100 crew members. The ship still rests beneath the water, and this memorial was built directly above it, not as a tomb, but as a place of remembrance. Standing inside, you can feel how personal this space is. It's quiet except for the sound of the waves, and every visitor seems to move with the same sense of respect. Beneath the surface, you can still see small drops of oil rising from the ship. People call them the tears of the Arizona. It's such a powerful reminder that even after all these years, history is still living here. Leaving the memorial, it's impossible not to think about the people who never came home and the generations who came after carrying their stories. It's peaceful but deeply moving, a place that reminds you not just of loss, but of resilience and the importance of remembering. I feel very fortunate to have been able to visit the USS Arizona today. It is undergoing renovations, and there's work being done on it to continue to restore it and ensure that it's in good condition. I'm going to continue the audio tour. The audio tour is actually really fantastic, so I definitely recommend doing that. And you can go in any order you want, though they do recommend that you start at number 100, which is sort of at the center of the entrance. There's a big map on the ground. I'm going to put my earbuds back in on my audio device and continue to make my way around until it's time to head over to the USS Missouri. Alright, getting on the shuttle to the Missouri. All right, here we go. I am walking onto the USS Missouri now. As I mentioned, I have personal ties to the USS Missouri. My grandfather was on this ship for several years. I'll talk about the details in just a second. Hello. I'm gonna do my own tour first, and then I might join the guided tour, which is 35 minutes. I'm actually gonna fill my water bottle first, though. There is a water filling station. That is very convenient. I'm just gonna wander on my own for a little bit. There's a QR code you can scan that will give you a map of the ship. And she recommended I go down to the kamikaze attack site because that's probably going to be the least crowded. And then I can make my way back to the front because the guided tours happen every 10 minutes. This looks like crew areas, crew berths from the 1940s. Wow, those are gigantic. So that goes down to the living spaces. So let's go over to this side. Here's a display about the battle for Okinawa. 5,000 American naval personnel are killed. 36 ships sunk. April 11th, 1945, the Missouri was struck. Inches below the main deck. Fire was put out, and the ship survived. My grandfather was a Marine. In fact, he was a Marine captain, head of the Marine Detachment on the USS Missouri from 1947 to 1949, thereabouts, and welcomed President Truman on board. And there's a picture of him shaking hands with President Truman. I'll put that on the screen here so you can see it. Since there's a tour going on up there right now, I'm gonna actually go and see the living spaces next. Back where I was. Here's where you can go down to the sailors' living spaces and exhibits, 20 to 30 minutes. You have to climb down the ladder backwards, so I'm not going to be able to film this. Wow, the mess hall area. There's some exhibits about the kamikaze.
Hi, Nicholas. We have two for your 10 o'clock cabin for.
This is a kamikaze pilot uniform. Sort of a glare, but. Alright, so 20 and 40 millimeter shell casings and cartridge here. Wow. This is fragments from the kamikaze aircraft that hit the Missouri. And this is remnants from a pilot's scarf in an envelope and a Japanese naval officer's button that was left from the pilot who crashed into the Missouri.
On the battlefield of the world.
Okay, so this is what I was just talking about. Here, September 1947, President Truman embarked on the Missouri, and my grandfather, who was the head of the Marine Detachment at the time, a Marine captain, welcomed them on board. And then the Missouri served as a training ship. Incredible to be able to see this here in person.
Representatives of the major warring powers to conclude a solemn agreement. The issues involving
Oh wow, look at this. Big Mo's snack shop. Right here, right on the ship. It's got like authentic snacks. How cool. Closest thing to a living room is the Chief's Lounge. Does look pretty comfortable. Wow. And a very old-fashioned TV. This is the Chief Petty Officer's mess. This is the kitchen. Still have some dishes out here. The sounds of cooking happening in the background. Here are some artifacts left over from the bombings in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. My dad said that my grandfather's quarters were right next to the Mardet, which is the Marine Detachment office right here. Here's the donut shop. So here's where the Marines that were on board were here for security protection, and these are their barracks. So there were about 60 Marines sharing quarters here. It's kind of wild being down here by myself. I'm just wandering these halls. No one around, just me. Supply office. The one crazy thing to me is, how do you not get lost in a ship like this? With all these little tiny corridors, and they all kind of look the same, but they're all different. If you need to be somewhere quick, you need to know where to go. How do you remember your way around? So right here we have what's called coffin racks. And these were crew living spaces to 1,600 crew aboard Missouri. So if I was really in a adventurous mood, I'd crawl up into one of these and lay down, but I'm not sure I'm allowed. And I'm not one to break the rules. It doesn't say, but you can see just how cramped they are. There's rows of either side, 3 from top to bottom. It's like being on a train, except for much longer. Oh, and then you turn a corner and there's more. This would be the spot to be, back in a corner with just the lockers near you. Wow. Talk about cramped. Command Master Chief office. This guy had his own TV in here. Look at that. And a telephone. Who's old enough to remember computers like these? Deck Department's 1st Division. So these are more sleeping quarters, still three on top of each other, three stacked on top of each other. The old TV, some lockers. A U.S. post office on board. Wow. Very cool. Little drop box. I saw one of these earlier too.
I think we just want a big circle.
Okay, up we go. This is where all the officers are located, and that includes the Marine Detachment, which is what my grandfather would have been part of. So I'm not sure if I'll be able to tell who's what. This is a wardroom treasurer. Okay, this might be it. It says MARDET Commanding Officer, which is the Marine Detachment. MARDET is the Marine Detachment. So let me see if I can go in here. I'm not sure if this is it, but it seems like it would be, at least when the ship was most recently operating. But if so, this is where the head of the Marine Detachment would stay. Alright, there's still a few tour groups up here, but this is the surrender deck when World War II ended on September 2nd, 1945. Japan's foreign minister signs the instrument of surrender on behalf of Japan and the Japanese government. 20 minutes later, World War II was over. And there is a plaque up there on the wall that was presented for the veterans of foreign wars of the United States. And I'll put some other footage over it, tell you about it. But it was presented to the USS Missouri in August of 1991 in New Orleans. And my grandfather was actually there for that. He went and was present on behalf of the Marines, which he was part of the Marines for, I think, over 25 years, a very long time. So pretty incredible. He'd been on this ship for over 2 years. So it is a beautiful day. Again, I said earlier, it's a beautiful day. And I'm glad that I didn't do the guided tour because they're just a little too crowded. I got to spend time walking around the decks on my own and exploring at my own pace, at my own leisure. So I'm coming to the end of my tour, but I wanted to make sure to come up to the front because, wow, what an incredible sight. And it slopes upward. And then you can see these huge chains. It looks like some sort of machine gun. Okay, we gotta go check out these chains. I'm assuming for the anchors because, wow, look at how big they are. Massive. Here's some more information about those massive guns at the front of the ship. That's just insane. My brain cannot comprehend this, how this functions. All right, one more place to get before I leave, which is the bridge. So let's head up. Almost to the bridge. Open bridge. Bridge watch could be done from outside. Better sight certainly is. You've got great views. Oh, there's the Arizona Memorial that I visited earlier. Look Look at that mountain range over there in the distance. Hawaii is incredibly beautiful. You certainly have a great vantage point up here with this open air bridge. Look right down over those massive guns. Imagine being all the way up there while the ship is rocking and rolling at sea. Oh, check out this chair. A great vantage point. And we're all of these guns right here. Wow. Crazy. Alright, so now we get to continue to the navigation bridge down here. Please do not sit in captain's chair. Okay. Alright, this is steep. Gotta be careful. Okay, here is the navigation bridge. The bridge of a Navy ship.
Oh, these are.
What an experience to be able to do this. Chart house. The conning tower was the helm or the wheel that steers the ship. Right in here. Wow. You can see the wheel. And it's kind of crazy that you're doing this without having any sight to where you're going. Just using all the instruments to navigate. Ships are so cool. Navigational instruments. Yeah. Phone. Wow. I guess that's a radio. So cool.
This is the door. This is the door.
Here's a chart table. Oh, and the captain's at sea cabin. Wow, cool. Definitely have to be right here on the bridge.
Touch it. Put your hands in your pockets.
Would have actually been cooler to come here with my dad, who told me all of the information that I have and know about my grandfather's time on the USS Missouri and much of what I know about World War history. But I did my best, so hopefully I got to see everything there was to see on my very short and sweet hour and a half long tour of the USS Missouri. I am heading off to our next stop now. Okay, we are at the Aviation Museum now. I have to check in and get a wristband. Then we can head in. Alright, so there's an audio tour here as well. And you just have to activate it up here. So I'm going to be doing this, listening to the audio tour, and I will get some footage where I can. And this is where we start. right, time to head back. Well, I had to stand on the shuttle coming back from the Aviation Museum to the main Pearl Harbor area. And I am back here now, and it is a little before 12:30, and our bus is not leaving until 2:15, and my feet and my lower back are screaming at me. I've been on my feet for 5 straight hours, so I'm actually going to call an Uber and go back to my hotel early, which our driver said we could do, no problem. I think I just need to relax this afternoon, take some time, chill. So we have another long day tomorrow planned. So Uber is going to be here in a few minutes, and it was under $30 for me to get an Uber. So actually I think that's pretty reasonable compared to waiting for 2 hours. So that is where I'm headed. What an amazing experience Pearl Harbor was, though. Obviously very heavy and intense, but very well done. The exhibit is very, very well done, all of them. I feel like I learned a lot more than I knew before, and I got to experience some personal connections to some places here. So I am going to head out now and find the Uber pickup area and then head back to the hotel. So once you leave, if you go over to the right, the rideshare pickup is over near kind of where this bus stop is. So you do have to go a little bit of ways from the main entrance. I am closing out yesterday's video. Yes, it is the next day. I had a very chill afternoon by the pool yesterday and a very early dinner and a very early bedtime. So I hope you enjoyed my tour and exploration of the infamous Pearl Harbor site, a very somber place, very sad place where many people lost their lives. It is worth visiting, absolutely, especially if you have any interest in history whatsoever, but just to pay your respects to all the people who lost their lives on the day that the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor back in 1941 when the U.S. entered World War II officially. I do wish that I had been able to have my dad help me out with narrating some of the interesting information about my ties to the USS Missouri and my grandfather's time spent on that ship just after World War II. He obviously knows the history much better than I did, and my grandfather has since passed away a few years ago when he was 97 years old, so he lived a very long and fulfilled life. I am very fortunate to have had him in my life for as long as I did, and to have heard some of his stories throughout the years, which now are passed on to me, my siblings, and the rest of my family through my dad. Hawaii was not part of the U.S. at the time it was bombed. It became the 50th state in 1959 illegally. But it is part of the U.S. now, and we embrace their culture. I am so fortunate to be here and experiencing it, and I am so glad that I have chosen to do the cruise tour where I got to spend extra few days ahead of time. Thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it or you liked it, and if you want to see more, hit that subscribe button for notifications on future videos. For now, I will say thank you so much for watching. Have a good one. See you in the next video.